Close your eyes and try to remember your second birthday. You can't. You were there. You blew out the candles. You smeared cake across your face. You were held and sung to and loved, and yet the entire event has vanished, as if it happened to someone else entirely. This is normal. Almost no one remembers anything before the age of 3 or 4. Psychologists have a name for it. They call it childhood amnesia. And for a long time, the explanation seemed obvious. A baby's brain is too undeveloped to store memories. The hardware simply isn't ready. But the real answer is far stranger, because your baby brain was not broken. It was not blank. It was forming memories constantly, vividly, in enormous quantity. You were learning faces. You were learning language. You were learning how the entire world worked at a speed you will never match again as an adult. So, where did all of it go? Start with what scientists actually found when they looked closely. A researcher named Patricia Bauer spent years studying memory in very young children. She discovered something that quietly overturned the old story. Toddlers can remember events from months earlier. A 2-year-old can recall a trip, a person, a specific moment. The memories are there. They are real. And then, slowly, they begin to disappear. Bauer's work revealed that early memories don't fail to form. They form, and then they erode. A child of 3 holds on to far more of their past than that same child will at age 7. The forgetting happens later. The memories are written, and then the ink fades. Think about what that means. The version of you that learned to walk, that recognized your mother's voice, that felt the world for the very first time, recorded all of it. You just lost the recording. Why would a brain do this? The answer lives partly in a tiny structure buried deep inside your skull. It is called the hippocampus. Say it slowly. Hippocampus. It is the part of your brain that takes a moment in time and files it away as a lasting memory. Without it, the present never becomes the past. It simply evaporates the instant it happens. And in a baby, the hippocampus is still under construction. But here is the twist. It is not that this region is too weak to work. It is that it is too busy growing. In the first years of life, your brain is producing new neurons at a staggering rate, a process called neurogenesis. Picture a city where new roads are being laid down every single day. The traffic still flows, but the map keeps changing underneath it. A neuroscientist named Paul Franklin tested this directly. He found that high levels of new neuron growth actually overwrite existing memories. The very process that builds your brain is the same process that erases your earliest recollections. Your memories were not stored badly. They were paved over by the construction of the mind that would one day try to recall them. The thing that made you smart is the thing that made you forget. There is one more layer, and it may be the strangest of all. To hold on to a memory of an event, you may first need a sense of self. A you that the event happened to. You need to be able to think, this is happening to me. That sense of self does not arrive at birth. It is built. Psychologists test for it with a mirror. A small dot of rouge is placed on a child's nose and the child is shown their reflection. A young baby reaches for the baby in the mirror, treating it as another child. But somewhere around 18 months, something shifts. The child reaches up and touches their own nose. In that single gesture, a self is born. The child understands for the first time that the face in the glass is me, and memory begins to anchor itself only after that moment arrives. Language matters too. The researcher Elaine Reese found that the way parents talk with children about the past shapes how those children remember. Kids whose families tell rich, detailed stories about shared events go on to keep more of their early memories. Memory, it turns out, is partly social. You learn to remember your own life by being told the story of it. Before language, before a stable sense of self, your experiences had nowhere durable to land. They were felt completely. They were simply never filed under me. So, now look again at that lost birthday. It was not lost because nothing happened. It was lost because everything was happening at once. A self was assembling. A language was downloading. An entire brain was rebuilding itself in real time, and in doing so, it quietly painted over the very first chapters of your story. You forgot your beginning so that you could become the person capable of forgetting it. And yet those vanished years were not wasted. The faces you learned still feel safe. The language you absorbed still flows out of you without effort. The fears and comforts shaped in that forgotten time still steer you, silently, every single day. You cannot recall the lessons, but you are still living by them. This is the quiet paradox you carry. The most important years of your life are the ones you will never remember. The foundation is invisible, buried beneath everything you built on top of it. So close your eyes one more time and try to remember your second birthday. You still can't, but now you know the truth. It was never erased by a brain that was too small. It was erased by a brain that was becoming magnificent.